Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I hope everyone is well. So today, this isn't a really long one, but it's an important one because when I've been going into people's ad accounts and I've been looking at their retargeting campaigns, and to all those who I've got into their ad accounts, fair play to you because so many people don't do retargeting. We've actually taken on two or three major clients lately. I mean, big spenders who have literally for the last forever just been going to the top of funnel acquisition, new acquisition, new acquisition. At no point have they at all, either of them, done any form of retargeting. And the funny thing is that they are specifically retargeting people who go to a landing page. So it's even better. It's not even people who've been to a website and browsed around and gone again. They go into a landing page. So it's a really, really quick win if done right. And there's one thing in Facebook that kind of messes this up, which is already on by default. And I've noticed this in my clients' ad accounts of the ones who have been doing middle of retargeting. And I want to explain when to use it and when not to use it. But either way, you have to know about it to make sure that you don't make the mistake. So, a quick explanation of what retargeting is in case you don't know. So, we're always talking about the top of funnel, middle of funnel, and bottom of funnel. Now, as in one of my earlier episodes a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about retargeting, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to follow the structure of top of funnel, middle, middle and bottom. You can just have one retargeting ad. So middle and bottom are kind of gone and they're combined. It's just a retargeting ad. So I don't want to, a lot of people, when we talk about this as advertisers, get really confused of going, okay, so then what do I need to do as a bottom of funnel? I mean, incidentally, if you had a massive audience, which some of our customers have, you have your top of funnel, which is going out to a cold people. So these people have never heard of you before. Okay, so a top of funnel ad, excluding people who've already purchased from you, and Facebook is showing that to people who have never come across you. Once they've come in, whether that's through watching a video or they've clicked on your website, etc., you can then retarget them at middle of funnel with some more information, maybe a nice little offer, free shipping, whatever it might be. And then at bottom of funnel, incidentally, you are retargeting people again, but with a better offer. So you want to be saying to people, okay, if they've been back to the website 5 times, you could build an audience to say the frequency is they've been to my website 5 times, but they still haven't purchased. I'm going to give them 25% off plus free shipping. So it's like a last chance saloon to get them to buy your product or service. But it doesn't always work like that, and it doesn't have to work like that. So don't feel like you've got to stick to that whole funnel structure. If you want to do a cold ad selling your baby clothes out to mums, and they all come to your website and they browse around and they add to cart and they do all this sort of stuff, and you get some purchases, which is fantastic, you can just do a retargeting ad based on people who've been to your website, viewed content or added to cart, and give them, hey, we saw you on the website, here's 15% off. So you might get a load more orders that. You don't have to, if you don't want to, then follow the bottom of funnel. And a lot of the time I see the bottom of funnel sometimes not work. Sometimes that whole perfect ad structure of cold, then a retargeting, and then a really good retargeting with a big offer at the bottom. Sometimes it doesn't work in the whole funnel. So you have to try all these different things out. But whilst we're talking about funnels, I want to lead on to the reason that we have this podcast episode. And it's a little tick box in your ad account, which is called reach people beyond your custom audience when it is likely to improve performance. And that is an Advantage Custom Audience Plus. Okay, so you'll see this where no matter whenever you're building an ad, top, middle, bottom, it doesn't matter if at this point Facebook doesn't differentiate retargeting. Your retargeting comes down with the audience you're choosing. So you're choosing a sales objective. You want people to buy your product or fill in your lead form or whatever it might be. So as a cold audience, you go into your audience section, which is in your ad set, which is the middle column. So you've got your campaigns, you've got your ad sets, and you've got your ads. Ad set is where you're building your audiences. And on a normal top of funnel campaign, going out to cold people, you can choose where they're living. So let's say they're all in the UK and your age group is 25 plus and it's men and women, and you're targeting people, baby clothes, anything to do with babies. Okay, so you're to keep it simple, you're baby, and then you click suggestions, and you get baby clothes, and you get baby walkers, and you get anything to do with baby. Okay, now a little bit further up, there is this advantage custom audience. Reach people beyond your custom audience when it is likely to improve performance. And you'll also see that in your interest area, depending on how you're selecting. Either way, you'll see this somewhere in your audience builder. Now, if you're going out to a cold audience, then press it, have it ticked on. It's already ticked on as default. And what Facebook is basically saying, okay, you've chosen anyone who's 25 plus, who is likely to have a baby because of the audiences, the interests that you've selected. But if we think that Mariah, first name that came to my head, if we think that Mariah is going to buy or interested in your product, are you happy for us to show Mariah the ad? Because she doesn't quite fall into any of the interest groups that you've done, but we think that she'd be interested in buying a product. Then it's a yes. Of course it is. Like, why would you not? Okay. And I have no negatives or positives, just happy to press that on. Now, when you come to do a retargeting ad, you're going to build a custom audience. So in your audiences, you're going to build, I don't know, all website visitors in 30 days, Facebook engagement, 30 days, people who watched all my videos in 30 days. Yeah. So you're going to retarget another ad with an offer, for instance, to anyone who's been to your website. Now, the funny thing is that advantage custom audience is still default selected. Now, where I would have this, if I was like a couple of my clients now, it is just a standard offer. They're buying something for a baby. In fact, they are, for this one, it is a baby. And the other one is a motorbike seat cover. Now, it doesn't really matter if you've got this on or off, because you're not following a funnel flow. Do you see what I mean? So you're basically getting people into the funnel. Fine. They've gone to your website and you're retargeting them with an offer of 20% off. Now, if Facebook thinks that someone else outside of your custom audiences of being to your website who doesn't know who you are still, but Facebook thinks they're going to fall into your, yeah, I'll buy that baby product, or I'll buy that bike seat for $20 off, 20% off, sorry. Show them the ad. Absolutely. Let's go for it. Let's get them in. But when not to do this, if you're following a really tight funnel system where you're saying, and you're taking people on a journey. So let's say you're doing a webinar. Okay. So you might go, right, I'm going to do a webinar to people who are interested in learning how to change a baby nappy. These things are stupid. They come into my head. Changing out a baby nappy. So you've got these new mums to be who are going, I need to know how to change a baby nappy, or I'm having trouble, whatever it might be. They are registering to your webinar. So they've gone onto your landing page. Step one, gone onto your landing page, and you're hoping they register. They haven't registered. So you do another retargeting ad where you're saying to people, okay, we saw that you came onto our website, but you didn't register for the webinar. Now, if you're putting that kind of messaging on your retargeting ad, then you don't want people who don't know who you are, because they're going to go, what do you mean I came onto your website? You want people who go, oh, yeah, I came onto your website. So that's when you need to tick that button off. And at the same point, you might have people who've registered your webinar, they've watched your webinar or haven't watched your webinar, but either way, they've registered, and you're wanting to do a retargeting ad to people who've been on your webinar. So in which case, you're going to say, hey, I hope you enjoyed the webinar the other day. For more information, click here. Or if you were interested in any of our other products or services, click here. Again, you don't want that going to people who haven't been on your webinar. So you want to untick the advantage custom audience. So I hope I think I'm making myself very clear. Have it ticked if you're willing to have Facebook go and find anyone else out of your chosen remit. But if you're wanting to keep it tight and only show people who are in your interest or in your custom audience or have watched a video or been onto your website, then you must tick that off. Otherwise, it's just going to be confusing to the people who see the ad, who haven't seen any of your literature already. And that's just going to give them a bad experience, and thus giving people a bad experience on these platforms ruins your engagement rate. Facebook doesn't like it as much because Facebook doesn't want to annoy its users. So you don't get a bad tick or a red mark or anything, but it just overall just doesn't help your advertising experience. So in the ad set area of any ad, if you're doing retargeting and you want to be specific on the people you're retargeting, make sure that Advantage Custom Audience Plus tick box is unticked. I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.